Okay, we got 2 push rods now. So I made this one 100th thou longer. And we'll see. So there's your difference. So there's definitely a difference between the front and rear now. Okay, I was able to screw this adjuster here down another turn or so by hand. So when you do that, it just goes in there. It's tight, but it goes in. So I'm going to mock up this one. Got to make sure it's up there in the hole up there in the rocker. Okay, we're at 0 on that one. Okay, this is my intake here. So it goes way up in there, and you can see how we still got a pretty good gap in here. Oop. So we're a long ways from being too long on this one. Same deal, gotta make sure it goes up in the rock arm up in there. Okay, we're at 0 lash. Okay, now we can see if our motor will spin over. Now we're at top dead center, more or less. On the compression stroke, which means it's on the firing stroke, it means it fires right now. Piston's right there. Okay, right in there. Okay, now we go ahead and turn this thing over a full turn. Valves open all the way up, and then right here on the overlap stroke is where things would hit if we're going to have any contact. Can you see the valve? The valve tips up in there. Not sure if it's going to focus in there very good. See, those are 2 valves getting friendly with each other right there. That's where they go boom and stick. So the race motor is close. You can also kind of stick through here and see it. Yeah, if you get the light to be right, you can see it in there, but this one, the dome's too high, you can't see up in there that way. Alright, the key thing is, piston's at top dead center. Remember, always stick something round in here so it doesn't break off in here. You can see how the piston is pretty much all the way up. If I hit this with my elbow, see how it drops. So that's top dead center. So that's your overlap opening in there. You can see how much the valve is open in there and overlap. See how the punch goes all the way, or not the punch, but the Allen goes right through both valves. So that's the 3/16 Allen. So those are open more than 3/16 all the way through. Okay. Now at top dead center, which is not the closest point on my motor for the valves to hit, this is how much extra clearance we have in the head. So this is called direct reading. Whatever you see is what you have. So you can see you got about 60 thou. I'm looking right here, the edge of the cylinder. So that's probably close to 80. Okay, the intake should be pretty close to 0, but oh great, we have something. So I have a lot of clearance. Hell, that's, let's see, we're on top dead center. Well, I think the motor's moving. We're gaining. Yeah, we're a long ways from top dead center. See, the motor moved. Took a lot of clearance in there. So every time I move it, the cams are moving it. Okay, well that's a hell of a lot of clearance. That's hard to believe I got that much, but alright, I gotta check this through the whole top 1/4 inch of travel of the piston going up and down and see what the closest point is. And this is the cut piston. I'll go get the piston I didn't cut, and if we get more clearance, we get more. But right now we got lots of clearance in here. You can see how we're getting closer as the crank turns. Every time I do this, the crank is turning. Now we're gaining. We went past. So it looks like my minimum clearance is way over here. And now the motor's really starting to turn. Okay, this has to be done with two hands. Can't do it with one, but it looks like we have clearances. But we'll do some more checking. Here, I gotta get out of here. It's 12:30 again, so it's getting late. Okay, we got our piston clearance we're working on right now. This is the piston we cut
last night.
So we cut 15 thou deeper and 23 further out than what it was stock. The piston here right now is stock. We just cut the radius out right at the very bottom of the pocket. Didn't make it any deeper and no wider. So that's called minimum work. And we have this much clearance.
See if we can get somewhere you see it.
Yeah, this is direct reading clearances. And that's our piston right there.
You can actually see the red on top of the piston in there.
There's red over there?
Mm-hmm. You can see it.
Oh, good. And we have that much clearance, so whatever that is, whatever clearance is.
Should be plenty.
It is more than sufficient. It's even more sufficient when you put the one that's cut 15 in there. It's a lot more.
This will be the one that creates a hole right here.
We'll put this one in first, that way when we blow it up, we'll have a good piston to put in after. And then once we go through two pistons, we'll be done for the weekend.
You did a video making your push rods?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. You see they go right on through like they're supposed to. And you want to make sure your push rod still has clearance in there.
Check for any tight spots and so forth.
Well, it changes as you do that, so we'll double check now. Still has clearance. So we have no problems with clearances. Okay, so we're done with mocking up this motor. It's ready to be put together for a reel. So now we need to go mock up the
motor mount.
So I'm going to go ahead and lighten this a little bit. I'm going to pull the crank out of it so I can wheel around better. And then all we have to do is rebuild it after we get it mocked up. Get all the parts made. The only thing that's left to be made on this is I need to make the longer oil line for here to here. But that's not a big
Were you still going to change the weight on the crank?
That's part of rebuilding.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I'll worry about that later. I can physically run it the way it is. But it's not really tightened up very much. So it's like a stock tightening. So you could physically run it. I don't know if it'll make it through the weekend the way it is, but not recommended. It might shake slightly too. But we're okay.
Might shake once.
Nah, it would shake a lot and then it might get worse.
Alright.
Okay, I've got my second backup piston here cut. So I wound up cutting it to only about 5 thou or so in here for a bigger valve diameter, and then I cut the radius out down in there, right in the bottom there, and I just slightly skimmed it right here. You can see the original piston's right here. I didn't even cut that. Just have to leave a mark. So this here's another piston. I got a whole box full of them here. So I got some standards, 20 and 30. I'm going to do all of them so I'll be able to use them when I need them. So basically we're just going to cut out this radius right in here, fill it, that's the correct word. So at least my valve will be able to sit flat down inside of there. So I'm going to cut about 5 thou off. Right now it looks like we're about 5.7 thousandths. Here's what I'm going to cut off the back wall. And I'll just come down until I lightly skim this surface here. Just like I did the other piston. I'll just make them all the same. That way I should be able to just bolt them in and out of my motor as needed. So I'll be ready to go. So we're going to do that. Show you how to do this one here. There, bring it up a little bit. First I'll move this over to 0. Cut at some point there in that red. hear it cutting. Yep, it's going away. My dial right there. When we get to 0, we're all the way down. It looks like we're already cutting down, so I'm going to stop right there. Shoot it over. Drop it down until I just touch that or close to it. Just lightly dropping the dial here. Should have hit by now. We went 3. Oops, maybe not. There it is. I'm going to leave it there, see what happens when I feed it across. Not hitting yet. The light skin there. Pretty heavy lip there, so this is a lot deeper than the other piston. Must be a slight change from diameter, maybe. See, this is what a standard piston, I think. 1600, yeah. So this is a standard piston, so there must be a slight difference in elevation height here. So, okay, well I can feel where it's at. So, I got about 8 more to go, maybe. Better to sneak up on this stuff and just hit it all at once. So I'm going to go ahead and go down until we just kiss it. And now we're on 3. We're just hitting 15 thou deeper. One more thou. Okay, so you can see how it didn't clean right through here. So this side has not cut, this side did. And there's a pretty good lip right in there we cut out. So, alright, so I'm going to do that for the rest of these pistons. I got 3 more standards to do, so these might change slightly with different diameters. Okay, but anyway, that's how you do it. So when I'm all done with the bike, all I do is just throw these things in there for whatever bore cylinder I'm using. It should all be about the same. But, okay, that's how you do it. We'll continue on. Okay, I got these new Wiseco pistons I just bought. So these are 20 overs. So they repackaged all this stuff now. It's in these stupid little Wiseco baggies now. Machining looks a little different, more shiny. Maybe because it's new. These are more dull looking. Probably because they're 10 years older, who knows. The biggest thing is you can see how the machining is different. But you can also see how they leave a big ass lip right here. Got a big lip. So if you got close valve clearance to a pocket, there's a significant rise there. That's probably 20 thousandths. So I've been cutting off 5 to 10 thou on these other ones. And that's how much these lips were up in here. And every one of these domes is different height. Anywhere from standard to 16 thousandths deep. They're variable. So quality control is lacking on some of this. So anyway, this here is the new one I just put in. So I just got this zeroed off. So I've actually gone an extra 10 thou deeper. Or not 10 thou, what did I do? Yeah, 10 thou deeper. Further this way to make contact, but you know, difference. So when you change the piston size, the diameter that we're chucking off might be different. Theoretically it shouldn't, I don't think, but whatever. So anyway, we're 10 thou further in, no big deal. So now I'm going to see how much the difference in depth is going to be. So right now I'm ready to cut this, so we'll go ahead and cut this one and we'll see what we come up with. Cutting the red there. And 70 down there, still a ways to go. So we just cut on that area. So we're down here at 80. That's a good 10, 15 thou early. Close enough. We'll get out here on the outside edge where I can come down and set my depth. Get where you can see it. Put it right on the edge of the skirt there, or the dome. And I'm just going to feed this down right here until I hit. I just hit it. Okay, well, we're coming out at 0. That's good. We actually hit a little early. We're at 0, so let's see what we get. It's pretty even so far. Side back here, we just barely got anything. I can just kind of feel a little bit, so it's probably thousands. Over here, it's a little bit deeper. That's about normal. So except for just being a really, really tall edge in there, it's not too bad. So I don't know why they're leaving such a big lip in there, but oh well. I'm sure they have their theories about that stuff. But oh well, that's where we're cutting them, so I know what they're all at. So this one here we'll mark it as 0. We'll see what this other one is. See how close this is. I'll come back and tell you. Okay, I did the second piston. We wound up cutting one under. I mean one over, excuse me. And one. And not quite clean all the way across the face, but pretty close. And that we're within a couple thou of the same height of that, but probably about 3 to 4 thou up, so not too bad. We're within 5 easily. And so whatever reason they're putting that big lip up in there for, I don't know. So, but anyway, these are basically the same heights. 0, 0. This one's at 1. These other ones over here, they vary all over the place. Most of them are in there, 0 to 5, so only a couple of them are way up there. So they're pretty consistent, so I should be able to throw these in the bike without any problem. But anyways, just stuff you gotta check on a race motor when you're really close to your tolerances. Just gotta make sure all this stuff is done so you can put parts into it as you need it. Otherwise you gotta redo this every time. So our setup was already here, so we used it. So I had a pretty repeatable setup I was using here by using a bump stop on the back side. So anyway, there we go. We're done with this for now.